Hi there, and welcome to the student orientation session for the Associate of Arts and Business program. My name is Jamie Crispin. I'm your academic advisor, and I'll be running through our orientation today. First off, I want to say welcome to the Baker family. Thank you for choosing us, and at Baker, we really want all of our students to succeed, and we want you to believe that you can succeed as well. So you getting to graduation is very important to us. We always want you to keep that date in mind and work towards it as you move through. I do like to tell students that their schedule or their cohort calendar that has been emailed to them is a great way to stay motivated. So I would recommend printing it out and putting it either on your refrigerator at home, your cube at desk, somewhere where you could see it daily, and even cross out the weeks or the days as they go by. It's a nice small reminder that you are being successful and that every day or every week you are getting that much closer to graduation. So my role as an academic advisor is to be obviously to provide you with information about policies and procedures, to help you with schedule changes, and the end all be all is to make sure that you are ready for graduation. And I'll be working with you throughout your program and checking in with you at different times. Just wanted to let you know that I have been in this role since about September of 2012. I have advised all programs, but more recently I am just advising the associate program here, as well as the Topeka MBA students. I am housed at the Topeka, Kansas campus. My favorite time of year is Baker graduation. Baker graduation happens in May and December, and so I look forward to passing out caps and gowns to the students and going to this commencement ceremony, which is held at our Baldwin City campus, and just congratulating and celebrating with all of the students. Also, too, there's, you could see on the slides, there's just a couple fun facts about me. The most important thing probably for you on this slide, besides my picture maybe, would be that I do work Monday through Thursday. I work 30 hours a week in between 9:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. So if you need to get a hold of me outside of those times, please know that I have very dedicated and knowledgeable staff that are also in the academic advising department that could certainly assist you when I'm not in the office. So that's just a little bit about me. Just wanted to let you know that through your program, I'm happy to meet with you through Zoom, which is this software that I'm using right now, or you can certainly call or email me. And if you're in the area around Topeka, I'm happy to meet with you in person too. This little slide just talks about, what makes up a successful Baker student. And these are just little tidbits or bullets that have come from other academic advisors and other Baker staff. So first off is to communicate, whether that's with me, financial aid office, and of course your instructors or your cohort mates. It is really important that you always want to keep people in the know. Also, you want to just use your resources, know what is out there. We have a great online Collins library that you are able to access virtually. It has lots of wonderful things that you can find, and our library staff, though they're housed in Baldwin City, can certainly help students virtually as well. So please reach out to them if you're not having success finding the articles or databases you need. I think the next one goes without saying, be prepared for class, whether that's reading the syllabus and having your books. And always, we want you to get the most that you can out of every single class. So attend, participate, and engage. Also too, and this again goes without saying, to complete all assignments and submit on time for maximum points. Also too, we want you to know that your syllabus for all classes moving forward will be posted in Moodle about 10 to 14 days before the next class starts. So you'll be able to look at that, see the instructor's contact information, and see what assignments are due and when. So that's always something to look out for. Your books, we want you to have your books at least 2 weeks in advance to that course starting. So when you see that syllabus, you should already have your book. And just to let you know, I'll be sending a document out that lists instructions on how to find your book information for upcoming classes. There are two ways that you can find it. One is through your student portal, and the other is through the Baker bookstore, and you'll be able to retrieve the ISBN numbers so that you could shop in different websites or in different places to get the best price for you. But just want to make sure that everybody aims to have their books 2 weeks before the class starts. Checking your Baker email will make you a very successful Baker student. As the staff and faculty at Baker, there are certain things that we have to and can only send through your Baker email account for privacy reasons. And so I'll ask that all of you get into the habit of checking this email regularly, and even if you have to forward your Baker email to whatever account you do check on a regular basis, so that you know that you are getting all the communications. Another point to be successful is to know Baker policies and degree requirements, and I will certainly help you with that, and this presentation is aimed to provide you with that information as well. And finally, successful Baker students are Baker proud. So the next part of my presentation is going to be kind of frequently asked questions, and I, of course, will send this presentation out to all students if you want the electronic PDF file as well. So here we go. What do you need to know about the program or your schedule? So just to let you know that for now, you know, all of you are enrolled in all of the classes that appear on your schedule. Some of you may have a modified or revised schedule that you worked with myself or another member of academic advising to tailor classes specific to what you need in your educational goals. Just know that if you have a calendar, you are enrolled in all of those classes, and you'll see that there are all the dates listed out, and you'll find little X's in certain points of the calendars, and those indicate breaks or a small vacation. So this can be useful if you want to plan ahead for a vacation and you don't want to have to think about school. Then this calendar comes in handy. Again, you'll know what you're doing for the next couple months or years and have it all planned out in front of you. We like to take the guessing game out. Again, use your student portal. You could see your schedule, your book information, and your unofficial transcript there. It is also where your grades will be posted at the end, and so make sure you're using your student portal for that. The other thing is we already talked about your syllabus will be up in Moodle, and then your projected graduation date. Again, just wanted to say that there are 2 times that we have commencement ceremony, May and in December, and so depending on when your final credits hit your transcript or are finalized, then you would either be projected for May if your credits are done by May 31st, or for December if all your credits are done by December 31st. So, and of course, we can continue to talk about that if you have questions. Finally, about your program, as your academic advisor, I have certain times or advising visits that I'd like to complete with you all. I'm going to try to do them by phone or Zoom, but of course, email will also be another way. We'll always be talking about degree completion, whether that's you and your associate program, you and your associate and bachelor's program, or anything else. I'll be working with you, especially towards the end of your schedule, to see if you do want to move to the bachelor's program, and I'll definitely be doing a graduation visit with your cohort. So. Okay, so let's move into some of your most frequently asked questions. What if you need to miss a class? Just wanted to I know that many of you are aware of the attendance policy, but just want to review it again, that a student has to be in class, cannot be absent from class for more than 30%. And so here in the online format, it's important to know that the weeks run Monday through Sunday, and that students have to complete 2 significant activities within that week to be counted present. There are times when some instructors may accept late work and award points, maybe with just a small 10% deduction or anything else. And I just want to state that late work can be counted towards your grade if an instructor does that, but late work cannot be accounted towards your attendance record. So just know that midnight on Sunday is your cutoff time, and you want to get all your work in on time so that you can also be marked present. In the online environment, there is no partial attendance. You either have attended or you haven't. And on ground, things run a little bit different. Students do have to be physically present in the classroom. And on ground, in the classroom, tardiness and leaving early can impact attendance. So there can be partial attendance given. So just important to know that. Here on our next slide, it shows you the weeks that you're able to miss For you all in the associate program, bachelor's year in 1, almost all but one of your classes are 5 weeks. So that means online, or that means that you're able to miss 1.5 weeks. Now, if you're online, you could really only miss 1 week because there is no partial attendance, but on ground, you could miss 1.5 weeks and still be at that 30% mark and able to continue and receive a passing grade in the course. I do want to mention that if your instructor marks you absent for a week, you will get an automatic attendance alert through your Baker account. And as my position, I'll be following up with you all to make sure that everything's okay and that you're on track to continue in the course. So just wanted to let you know automatically those alerts will be sent to you. What happens if you want to unregister from a class or change your schedule? Schedule changes, we know, happen a lot. Things happen in lives, and you might have to make a schedule change when you're not expecting to. And since you've scheduled for everything on your schedule, you'll want to contact me as soon as possible. There are some things to consider when you need to make a schedule change, and I know this slide has a lot of text on it. Hopefully it makes sense as I walk you through it. But before we make a schedule change, we're going to review a couple things. One is, will there be any fees for withdrawing or unregistering from the class? So in the first bullet, it says if there's been no attendance posted in the class, then you will owe nothing for unregistering from a course. If 1 week attendance has been posted and you want to make a schedule change, you'll owe 10% of the tuition for that class plus the $30 tech fee. And then after 2 weeks or 2 nights attendance has been posted, then you will owe 100% for the course. So that's just something to remember. If you need to make a schedule change after that second week, you would have paid for the course. The second thing that might be impacted is your final grade. So here the W is means for withdrawal, and that means that it's in the first half of the class and you've made a schedule change. So on your transcript will go a W for withdrawal, which has no impact on your GPA. If the class is more than 50% over and you withdraw from the class, we would ask your instructor what your status was or what your grade was. And if the instructor says you were passing, you would get a withdraw passing or a WP, which would then go on your transcript but would not impact your GPA. A WF is withdraw failing, again, when half of the class is over and your instructor indicates to us that you were not successfully going to complete this course. It would go on your transcript as a WF and it will factor into your GPA as a failing grade. So sometimes that does make a difference for students to know that. And then finally, the third thing to consider is any impact withdrawing or unregistering from the course might have on your financial aid, military benefits, tuition assistance. And so for students using financial aid, they cannot be out of class for more than 30 days. And so if you're going to be out of class for more than 30 days, we need special permission from the financial aid office to keep your loans intact. So we'll work on that if you are receiving financial aid, but when you're making schedule changes, you want to think of the fees, what final grade you would be assessed, and how it would impact your finances. And then all schedule changes need to be submitted to me in written form so that I can make the adjustments. So as I stated before, our attendance policy, students cannot miss more than 30%. So what happens if you will go over that 30%? You know, we always want you to attend class as much as possible to keep you on track for graduation and to make sure that you can be successful. If at any time you find that you might go over the attendance policy, then you'll want to contact me as soon as possible. Once you have gone over the 30%, then you will owe for the course and you will be issued an automatic failing grade, which will impact your GPA and could impact your financial aid issues. And most of the time that class will need to be rescheduled, so it could change your graduation date. So before you know you're going to go over the attendance policy, it's important to contact me so we can look at your options. If you're able to withdraw from the class and you know you're passing, then it may be in your best interest to withdraw because then that will prevent you from getting a failing grade. And then that way, you know, we could reschedule the course and it wouldn't impact your GPA if you knew you were passing the course. So this is just some information. And of course, if you find yourself in this situation, please contact me so we can review that a little bit more closely. What if you want to change formats? Whether you're currently in the online format and you're thinking that maybe you would prefer the on-ground and being in the classroom, we do have campuses in Overland Park, Topeka, Wichita, and Lee Summit. And so there are all those campuses, and I always tell students, consider your learning style first. Know what your work schedule is and when you can study, and will it fit into changing this format. Also, too, I want everybody to be clear about the attendance policy and some of the changes and the nuances between online and on ground, and know that Moodle is an important part of the online environment and can be used on ground. In some cases, there may be a potential change in cost per credit, not much, but we would want to make sure that you have that information before we finalize anything. Changing formats will be subject to existing cohort calendars or dates that are already out there, and students must obviously transfer at the start of a class. They can't transfer during or once a class has started. So you'll want to contact me so I can create a schedule specific for you if you want to change formats. What does it mean to be in good academic standing at Baker? For the undergraduate students, that means a 2.5 GPA or higher, and all students must pass the orientation course to continue in the program. For us, a passing grade is a D or higher, so only grades of Fs would have to be retaken. Students are not able to take 2 classes concurrently at Baker to accelerate graduation, and that's due to the fact that the pace is already pretty fast, and we want students to be successful. Also, too, most students, there is a rule that you can't overlap for more than 2 weeks in a program without special permission. For your current schedule, you probably have no overlaps. Everything is back to back, but no overlap. But if at any time you have to reschedule, you might find yourself in a position where you might have to overlap, and you and I would work together to minimize any concurrently enrolled courses. And then finally, an academic policy is, and I'm sure none of you will find yourself in this position, that a student cannot have a combination of 3 Fs or WFs. And so, if you do find that you failed a course, sometimes it's important to retake that class as soon as possible. One, it will change your GPA, and then also two, you wouldn't find yourself in this position where you've accumulated 3 Fs. If a student does find themselves in this position, they will be academically ineligible to continue, and they would have to be withdrawn from the program. Here we are, we're going to talk a little bit if you don't meet all the academic policies. You can read through this slide, but know that Ruth Miller, our Director of Academic Records, would provide you with an official letter stating that you'd be placed on academic probation, and students would have 3 classes to raise their GPA to good standing in order to continue in the program. If a student did not raise their GPA to that 2.5, then students would be deemed ineligible to continue and must wait at least 4 months before they can come back, and they have to petition to be readmitted into the program. So moving forward, what are your degree requirements? This is bachelor's years 1 and 2 and the Associate of Arts and Business. So you could see here the credits that you would need: 30 general education credits, which makes up 18 arts and humanities, 6 science, and 6 social science. 3 written English, 3 math, 9 general electives, 18 core credits, which you would see noted on your cohort calendar. They would say are or required next to them, for a total of a minimum of 63 credits and, of course, a 2.5 GPA. A lot of you, or some of you, might have transferred in credits from other institutions, which is fantastic. So a lot of questions I get are, how can they impact your current schedule? Does that mean you have to take less credits? And then I would ask a question to that question to say, is it important that you get your associate's degree, just your bachelor's, or do you want both? If you want only your associate, then your transfer credits could minimize your classes, and it'd be important for us to talk. If you want your associate and your bachelor's degree, then your transfer credits will get you closer to the 124 needed. And so, again, we would want to talk and look at that. If at any time you're not sure, please email or call me. The next slide is specifically for students who know they want their bachelor's degree. You want to look at your degree evaluation form. This is something that would have been mailed to you through the academic records office upon admission, and it would have listed out your transfer credits. So in academic advising, we generally tell students, if you have 20 or less transfer credits and you want your bachelor's degree, then it's recommended that you do the full associate program, which is 63 credits, and then move to the bachelor program. If you see that you have 20 or more transfer credits, then you may not need the full associate program before you transfer to the bachelor program. And a modified schedule might have to be created between you and I so that we can make sure that we're meeting your education goals. So here we are on this next slide, talks about 2 students and their transfer credits. So student 1, Pedro, has transferred in 10 credits, and he plans to do the full associate program. Our most popular bachelor program is our Bachelor of Business Administration, and it's 42 required core credits. So you can see if we add up his transfer, the associate program, and the Bachelor of Business core, that would give Pedro 115 out of the 124 credits needed, which is fantastic and absolutely doable. For student scenario number 2, Santhi, she transferred in 30 credits, and you could see that if she does the full associate and our bachelor program, that she'll end up with 135 out of 124 credits. In her case, a modified schedule would be best because we don't want her to take any more classes than she needs. I know all of you have your degree evaluation forms. I emailed them to your Baker account. And on the second page of the document, you'll want to make sure you complete the advising session acknowledgement. You'll want to sign and circle your degree plan, and then please return that form to me either by email or fax as confirmation that you saw this presentation and that you understand the information on your form. Of course, if you want to talk further, please reach out to me. This is just another quick slide about moving to the bachelor program a little bit later. You can read through this slide, but just know that I'll be reaching out to you to make sure that you can make that transition as easy as possible. This final slide is just some additional information you should know as a new Baker student. The Be Alert system is a text messaging service that students can sign up for. This is more important for students who will be taking classes on ground, and this is a quick way to let students know if class will be canceled. Our winter weather policy does say that Baker will make the decision by 3 p.m. and notify students by 4 p.m. if classes will be canceled. Your student ID, it's a 6 numbers will make up your student ID. You can find that information in your student portal. It's important that you have that because you'll need it to make payments online or to access the Collins Library. If you want a physical copy for your student ID, then you'll have to submit a help desk ticket and they will mail you a physical student ID. Library cards we talked about, you kind of have a virtual library card. Baker's Writers is a resource for students who want some additional help with writing. And I could certainly send information your way about that if that's something you're interested in. Just a reminder, grades will be posted in your student portal, and grades will be posted within 8 days of the last night of the course. So you want to look for that. Book information and syllabus we've already talked about. Also, end of course surveys. There's a link in your student portal, and you can also find it in the syllabus where you can provide feedback and input to the instructors about how the instructor did, the pace of the course in the book, and this information is reviewed by Baker staff. So I highly recommend you get in the habit of completing the end of course survey after every course, and it is anonymous. I just want to reiterate, Baker is a military-friendly university, and we do have a veteran service organization, so I can connect you to those students if you're interested. Payments, if you have to make a payment, you can pay by credit card online, or you can mail a check, but we are not able to take payments over the phone. Financial aid department is the place to contact if you want to know more about your disbursements. And also, too, we do have an SPGS Facebook page if you would like to stay connected with upcoming information. This last slide talks about some graduation information, the requirements you need. I think the only thing I will say is that there is a form you'll have to fill out before you graduate, and I'll remind you as it gets closer, and that honors is awarded at 3.7 GPA and higher. I'd love to see everybody at the commencement ceremony, and it is housed in Baldwin City campus at our main traditional campus. This last slide just talks about when you'd be eligible for graduation based on when your credits have been complete. And there is a bachelor group there that's finished in their caps and gowns, so that will be you very soon. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. I do want to say thank you for listening. Again, reminder to send me your degree evaluation form signed and email that back to me. And if you have any other questions or want more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I look forward to working with you, and I wish you the best of luck in your program. Thank you.